Alright guys, here he is.
Good morning everyone. Welcome to Mack's Extreme Fishing Outdoors. Today we're going to talk about two tactics that I like to use in the early spring. I'm talking about late winter, early spring. In the southeast, it's going to be late February, March, early April. Once the water gets in the high 40s into the 50s, there's two tactics I like to use for big bass and lots of bass now. One is using 1/4 ounce rattle traps or 3/4 ounce rattle traps, depending on the water and the flow is below spillways. Now, I've got a video on that. I'll post that there. The second way I like to catch a lot of big bass and a lot of bass in springtime is using spinnerbaits in ponds, lakes, and swamps in North Carolina or anywhere across the southeast when the water temperature is in the late 40s and 50s. That's throwing spinnerbaits. Now, I like the Booyah tucks and tails, the black one. I cut the tail off of it. Also like the white one. This is also my favorite river lure, the white one. But I'm going to tell you, the black one is a big bass getter. I've got a blog post on that on how many big bass people I've put onto this have caught. So check that out. I'll put that in the description because that's not a video. So the link to that is going to be in the description. But anyway, those two right there are big bass getters. Let's see if I can put the packages up right here. See if that'll focus. Okay guys, you've seen the packages. I'll put a link to those in the description. What you want to do when the water gets up in the high 40s and 50s is, if you don't have a boat, throw these, wade around, bank fish, throw in 2 to 5 foot of water. The bass on sunny days come up shallow after the minnows that are shallow. I use a spinning reel a lot if there's overhanging trees or I'm fishing around cypress trees, because if you hit a tree or limb and if you're trying to go under it, you're going to backlash. So I use 30-pound braid on a spinning reel. If it's more open, I use 50-pound braid on a bait caster. But throwing these spinnerbaits is an awesome way to catch fish like late February, March, early April. Now also I use a trailer hook. I'll post a link to that right there, a video right there where I show you how to fix that trailer hook. I don't fish these without a trailer hook. I'm going to tell you how to fish. I catch on these or caught on the trailer hook. You're going to miss a lot of fish if you're throwing just the hook on the spinnerbait. Okay, how do I work these spinnerbaits? Sometimes I just fan cast them. I just cast like a clockwork. 10 o'clock, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. Just fan cast them and reel them in. But the top way is, if you see a stick up, you see anything out of the ordinary, a weed sticking out of the water, run it by that, bump it up against it, reel it in a few feet and slow it down, let it drop a little bit. Reel it and pause, kind of like a crankbait. Sometimes you got to pause it and let it flutter. Obviously in shallow water you can't let it flutter too much, but sometimes I'm fan casting it, just trying to find some fish. But if I see a stick up or anything out of the ordinary, I'm going to throw and try to get as close to that as I can and bump it, get as close as I can, run it right past it, and then pause it. A lot of times they hit it, bam, right then.
Alright guys, here he is.
Anyway, it was an awesome day. Probably caught 20 fish that day, all on the white spinnerbait. I'm telling you, the black one would have probably done just as well. But anyway guys, hope you enjoyed it. Like I said, look for the links in the description to the spinnerbaits. Check out my blog post, like I said. Let me know if you got any comments, how you like to use the spinnerbaits this time of year. And hit the subscribe button. I'll see you next time. Thanks for watching.